Hey, let's hedge our hogs, everybody. I really shouldn't say it that way, but I've already made this joke before, and because I screwed up with using this piece of software, I actually do have and know where my Sonic 2 cartridge is. However, I also have Sonic 1 queued up, and believe it or not, I don't have a copy of Sonic 1. So, we're doing things through that sort of method. Listen, I own the Sega Genesis Mega Drive Classics collection, and I bought it back when these games were in it. So, I say that counts. That's kind of an emulator too, and by kind of, I mean absolutely. I forget how good or not it is, and quite frankly, if I wanted to, I probably could just use that thing and, you know, sideload my own cartridge images in there. Let's avoid saying the bad word in case, you know, in case a lawyer gets all complainy. Oh hey, bonus stage. This, there's something that reminds me of this that I was playing recently, and now I can't recall at all what it was. Well, it's very simple. I don't recall if there's a good way to, like, shut Tails off in this. Although, yeah, especially, this is a good place to be like, yeah, hey, Tails is not only useless, but less than useless. I mean, I'm not exactly going to be covering myself in glory here because I super do not remember the patterns at all. In fact, if we make it through the next checkpoint, oh sheesh, we barely got that. Yeah, so rather infamously, the bonus stages in Sonic 2, I think, like, this probably is the thing that a lot of people remember about these bonus stages, or really just Sonic bonus stages in general. We're one off. Yeah, that's about how I would expect to do, really. Anyway, yeah, infamous for Tails being able to actually completely screw you on those, because he will just walk into those landmines. Also, yes, the lampposts steal your rings in this game. That, I forgot about that. That does kind of suck. Although I think I was expecting it to happen in Sonic 3 for some reason, and obviously it does not in that game. Because, yes, you know, it's slightly more knowing what they're doing with that part of development at the bare minimum. Other parts of the quality of Sonic 3, little all over the place. The level designers didn't know when to stop making their levels of length, so yes. Like, I've timed out on a shocking amount of Sonic 3 stages. You know, Carnival Night Act 2, and not even just from the stupid barrel. I've had, rather frustratingly, you know, timing out in the middle of the boss fight. That's like, you know, can you like it less than that? Well, is there anything that can... Oh, geez, I thought I was about to get spiked there. That's a little cruel, developers, but whatever. Sega being sadists? Also, dang it, I'm at 99. I'm at 99 rings. Oh, I'm one off. So our first boss here, I'm kind of embarrassed that I got hit by, but I jumped like just slightly too early. The Robotnik drill car thing is like dirt easy. Yeah, if you let him get off screen while he has 7 hits, he'll come back in and shoot the drill at you. Well, that bodes super well for how I'm gonna do with this. Who's predicting that Chemical Plant Zone game over? Anybody? I sure hope so, because let me tell you, I feel a little bit like that may be where it goes. Yeah, Sonic 3 is like one of those small handful of games that's not like Lemmings or something where I time out fairly easily in certain areas. Yeah, I mentioned Carnival Night Act 2. Hydra City Act 2 is another one where I've run out of time. And oh god, yeah, Sandopolis Act 2. I mean, that's Sonic and Knuckles technically, but close enough. See, there's one thing that I always remember about Chemical Plant Zone 2 that specifically kills me, and it's not the water, it's this one jump with a couple of like little back and forth slidey things at the very end of the stage. Oh god, Wing Fortress Zone boss. Oh, that's just not fun to play. I dislike that immensely, and thinking about it again has ruined my entire life. My life's been pretty not terrible up to this point, so let's get a look at what you got here. Huge power croc. Yeah, that'll do a lot of good work for you, that's for sure. Yeah, if you wanted to fix that, like, I think that you could probably get, like, a very basic hack that would tweak that, and it would still work with the Pokemon randomizer. But I don't 100% remember. I'd have to actually, like, track down any of the basic physical special split hacks and try it with that, so yes. Let me pause and pull the chat box up so that way I can see that properly. Oh yeah, I definitely remember that. I didn't think that was like as bad as some parts of it. As I said, there's a pretty bad part of Chemical Plant Act 2 which gets me quite frequently, which is not quite that thing, but that thing kind of gives me the worries. Although yeah, I can definitely understand, like, young fellas, it definitely it gave me a bit of the unpleasantries when I was a child, that's for sure. Playing this as an adult, however, well, as noted, you know, the, like, last jump of the level. I think it's the last jump of the level, in fact. Oh, I went up the wrong side. There we go. That's when they're coming up to the left. That's odd. Yeah, the drowning music in Sonic is a pretty wild thing in terms of, like, yeah, it's quite terrifying. I sort of reached a point where it doesn't really affect me in a Sonic game. I then one time had that set as the alarm sound on my phone. So I was like, hey, yeah, that'll wake me up. And it did. And, you know, I practically was like, ooh, I'm gonna need new pants after that. And let me tell you, I decided that was a little harsh for an alarm clock after that point. And nowadays, I just use whatever the stock alarm clock is on my current phone, because that was my last phone. That was, you know, I could have put something on there instead, you know, after that point that was like, I don't know, like Devil Driver kind of music or something. I actually don't think I've ever heard a Devil Driver song in my entire life. It's just a good band name. But, you know, like, you know, something... Oh, God. Yeah, this isn't quite what usually gets me, but it's pretty close. There's a part at the end that has these little back and forth slider thingies. I drastically prefer Sonic Mania Chemical Plant Zone. Oh god, I thought I was actually gonna eat it right there because of how the zigzaggies were working. We may be getting some drowning music here. This is it though. This is the place that I think most people are like, this is the anxiety simulator. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I thought for sure there was another layer there, actually. I think this is the thing that kills me, and you can see this is like the part where it's not an instant death drop, but also... Oh, geez. But also, like... It will send you backwards quite a bit. Oh, God. Oh, no, this is it. This is the one. And that's why, is because it's like, hey, yeah, you have to stop. And there's parts of me that do not reflect it. Oh, God. Oh, get in the middle. And this is another boss where it's like, you got to be careful. Which I don't like to do when it comes to Sonic bosses. I know that I can get multiple hits on most of them, so it's like, hey, I would like to do that. I would like to just clobber this guy as severely as possible. Like you can on some of the really easy bosses in the series, but then you get stuff like that where it's like, you've got to take your time. The one in Angel Island Act 2, as we saw, is kind of, oh yeah, oh god, yeah, Tails will get you killed in that boss if you let him. That time, though, he actually helped us because he broke the pillar. While I was too busy flinching from that arrow that hit me because I'm... Grounder! Ah. Oops. That's me not pressing the button fast enough. It's alright. We don't need no stinking Chaos Emeralds. Like I said, I actually kind of prefer... Oh. What? I didn't even see that! Come on, game. Cut me some slack here. Actually, it can keep, you know. Oh god, here it comes. Yeah, sorry about the music, everybody. Bubbles, please, 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 please. Ooh, yeah, that got a little bit. Yes, I fell into the water, as you can see. And then I got hit by an arrow. Like, I basically landed on it. Although, of course, by this point, I've gotten got by so many of the arrows in this level that, like, what else is new? Ah. Oh, hey, we almost had the reset there. See, I'm kind of torn. Because I do love me some Sonic 3. Sonic 3 is quite enjoyable. But I do prefer the general economy of the levels in Sonic 2. That they're fairly short. Sonic 3... Some of them can get just downright interminable. like I really think that by the end, outside of like Ice Cap, most of those end up being like 6+ minutes. And it's a little bit like, you know, it feels really, really odd compared to a game like this where every level is like 2.5 minutes. But yeah, I love the... I do love the lock-on cartridge, like, just in general. I actually have... My friend sent me that as a birthday gift a couple years back out of his personal collection when he was downsizing all of his video games. And so, yeah, that's one of the unfortunately very small number of actual Genesis games that I have in a box. In the box, rather, I suppose would be a better way to put it. Not just any random box, but the one that the game came in. I'll take a look at it in a second. So, yeah, so I have a boxed copy of Sonic and Knuckles, which is quite neat. Oh god, I would love to have a boxed Vector Man. I love Vector Man. I played Vector Man on this stream a couple weeks ago, and I was real bad at it, but still a good game. I'd have to actually like track one of those down though at some point. Yeah, so the games that I have like still boxed for the Genesis, it's a little sad on some level because I've got only Sonic Spinball, Sonic and Knuckles, and Bubsy 2 of all things. And Bubsy 2 is the only one that's in a hard case there. So I'm pausing this for a second to see what Retro is dealing with here. GUI, that weird messy. That's a good question, Mega Man. I'm just going to assume that it's just like slightly jank software, really. Anywho, yeah, click those things in and unhover that. You have the original Bubsy. I have an original Bubsy cart, but sadly, no box for it. Just because I think that would be a funny thing to like have as you know, in the background of stuff for me. I have a very large collection of just like weird odds and sods that I don't like necessarily have great purpose for, but back when I was, the last time I was doing videos on YouTube, I did have a bunch of stuff where I would appear in front of a camera. And I've got a bookshelf full of some stuff there. And so occasionally I'd have that in and some other stuff, you know, just as like a for fun kind of. Sadly, nobody ever really said nothing about it, but oh well. Nice. That's always a good time. Oh, dog, please. I'm not sure how to do much with that. Let's see. Shaq Fu. I have a cartridge of Shaq Fu. If I get a box and possibly even a manual for it, which, God, I gotta imagine that is quite pricey. That would be fun. I think the big one that I would really particularly love, and I regret not buying this like 10 years ago. And to be fair, I was originally gonna buy it to send to somebody who like really is not a huge fan of Echo the Dolphin, and I kind of feel like nowadays, hey, yeah, that wouldn't have been as funny as you thought it was. Oh well. Which version? By that I mean I have a copy of Shaq Fu for the Sega Genesis. But yes, Echo the Dolphin is the one I would love to get like the full box and everything for. I also should at some point see about tracking down a copy of the Sega CD version too to go with that. Because I love me some Echo the Dolphin. I mean, not necessarily to play. It's a very difficult and confusing game, but in terms of the aesthetic and just like the concept and it's these creepy ass HR Giger aliens, that's pretty good. Echo the Dolphin, I guess I'm being a little mean on it when I'm like, oh, it's not necessarily my favorite thing to play, but it's one of those ones where it's just like it's very, very hard, and I'm so bad at it, and I'm not really like great at making progress with it. No, I'm not really dealing too much with the slot machines, although I could try and I could see about getting some one-ups. I just kind of want to go deal with the boss. This area is just like, yeah, Casino Night Zone 1, pretty alright. Act 2, things get a little bit more over the top. And also, this boss, well, this boss is not hard, but the arena sucks. This one is, oh geez. Oh, that's right, he's got electricity under his claw. Oh, we're getting into a good loop here. Never mind. This might suck less than I think it does. But yeah, for those of you who have played Sonic CD and remember the Collision Chaos Zone, which to me that is kind of the absolute low point of the game. But thankfully it's early, so this kind of has a lot of the same vibe. And if he could stop electrocuting, it would probably enable me to talk better. What would also enable me to talk better would be to have a full glass of water. My window got resized, huh? That's weird. My last ring just got aided. Well, that's quite unfortunate. I'll take a look at that in a second, I guess. Now that we're done with the boss. Anywho, yeah. So, just kind of reminds me of a zone that like slightly overdoes the what's the word I'm looking for here? Oh god. It slightly overdoes the gimmick a little bit. I kind of like Collision Chaos. And that boss in Collision Chaos Zone, the pinball machine, is kind of a pain. And the one in Casino Night reminds me of that a little bit. More than 20 years to figure out the... Yeah, so, I'm sure I remembered how to do it as a kid. And then I remember hitting a point where I clearly did not remember it. Is it? I'm gonna have a look here and see what the deal is real quick. A huge black border? Oh, that's Twitch's problem. I hate to make it sound like that, like, oh yeah, I'm not at fault here, because, hey, yeah, I fuck up all the time, but, I believe that Twitch does that, and they show, like, a banner ad on there, and I don't know how to deal with that at all. Like, if there's anything I can do to stop it. I'd say other than, like, you know, revoking my affiliate status. I couldn't remember the exact word they use. Yeah. So, if it's just a black space, it's because your ad blocker is working correctly, basically. And so far as I've seen with my experience with uBlock Origin, that will remove those ads, but it won't really do nothing about the ad clips that play at the start of a stream or when you log into a stream or anything like that, which is kinda it's kind of unfortunate, but, you know, technology is what it is, and in particular, there's this level of just, like, arms race, basically, between people who are trying to make quality of life technologies, such as ad blockers, and the people who want to monetize everything on the internet because, you know, as they are. They've been saying that about uBlock for a while, at least on Chrome, which does remind me that I have to, at some point, I really do need to switch over to Firefox. I'm sure that there's good tools for me to move all my, like, passwords and my bookmarks and stuff. But the one thing that I'm concerned about is that I do, like, play a couple of things that are browser-based that are specifically optimized for Chrome and, you know, Chromium derivatives, which is something that Firefox is not, which is good in a case like this, except for the part where those might break. Yeah, I admit that I'm using the phrase quality of life in a very broad manner here, but yes, an ad blocker is all but required. In fact, like, at this point, multiple government agencies, even here in the US, are just like, hey, you need to run an ad blocker for your personal security. And yet you've got websites like YouTube and everybody like that who are all trying to make all these technologies to pierce ad block and or just make your experience worse if you use an ad blocker. Oh, hey, is that the first time we've actually properly died? That can't possibly be. Anyway. And what my point that I'm trying to make here is that somehow it does not really make me think that these guys' shit doesn't stink, at least in this regard, right? That it's like, yeah, I bet you guys are really not actually, like, out here with necessarily the most secure ads. And of course, God knows you really don't want to see ads on YouTube because, listen, there are just some parts of the internet that have, like, really bad ads, even by the standards of advertising. And YouTube is quite terrible. I mean, there's worse places to be served ads, such as Twitter, but of course that has a lot to do with, well, the fact that Twitter is somehow even more of a toxic waste site than YouTube is. Against all odds. Ah, get out of my... Yeah, that's a perfectly understandable standard as well. Mobile game ads. There's a lot of reasons why you would want to do that, really. Yeah. Yeah. Also, wow, I really did not have my thumb properly on the left button there. Thank you, Tails. You got him, but I did almost die for that, so that's okay. Oh, that's fine. Anyway, that's what the incognito window is for, Irene. I'm sorry. See, because, like, also the other thing is that on top of that, it's like, hey, yeah, not just, hey, yeah, a lot of these ads are, you know, absolutely rife with, well, listen, mobile gaming as a medium kind of makes me a little sad. Because way back in the day, I was stumping for the idea of like, hey, yeah, let people have like actual games on their smartphones, because why the hell not? They're basically like mini computers. And then, you know, the exact things that were done with them were, well, what we all know about. And I think part of it really is that nobody really wants to spend like actual full game price on something on their mobile phone most of the time. So not literally nobody, but also, you know, quite a few people. So that kind of hamstrings things a little bit. But regardless. Yeah, so the other thing that I think of, oh hey, 2 back-to-back invincibilities, that's quite rare. I'm surprised that I can't really think of like a Star Chain style level for the Sanic series. The other thing that I think about with regard to mobile games is that also because they're all sort of based on that very sort of simplistic, like, pattern of that, and also the part where it's like, hey, yeah, here's benefits for playing every day, so it's like a job. I do have concerns about the fact that some people actually do get addicted to some of that shit. So, I might look into that at some point. Cry. If I do not forget, anyway, which, I mean, I very well might, because I'm very good at forgetting. Because, I mean, I also am slightly thinking about that, because I also, I mean, I play a lot of Balatro. That's been kind of my main gaming thing lately since I bought that, like, a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. I don't remember. I'd have to double check. But yeah, I also kind of had this like bit of realization of like, this would be, since this is such a dirt simple gameplay loop, which again is the sort of thing that a roguelike would thrive off of, but I also could see that people who would have like addiction problems might possibly have some issues there. Which is kind of sad, because I would love to throw it at more people, but oh well. Here we go. Here's the pit. I screwed up and I forgot to pull the switch. Oh well. Also, the third category, of course, for problematic mobile gaming ads that I can think of, rather infamously for a brief period, for a brief period, Honkai Star Rail, which is one that I play, and I'm having issues getting on these platforms. Wow. Okay. We fixed it. I'm not useless. I swear. So there was an ad for Star Rail at one point where it was just the character Natasha, who is like kind of infamous for being the worst healer in the game, but it was the only one who existed back then, just sort of introducing herself as an underworld doctor, which is a huge non sequitur because it ignores the fact that the phrase underworld in this case is like, you know, not like hell or anything like that. And I mean, a little bit for the people living there, but that's not the thing that we mean here. It was just sort of bizarre, and a lot of people were like, I legitimately do not understand what is going on here, but I would like you to stop. So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, mobile game ads. Yeah, I guess if there was one thing in particular that I would want to get rid of, you know, if I had to choose one category of ads, that would be pretty high up there because I would find them quite frustrating. Although, I mean, on the other hand, I guess there is also the part where there's still a suspicious amount of, like, just overt right-wing advertisement on YouTube, which is one of the reasons why I was complaining about it in the first place. You know, I think we've at least passed the point where YouTube is just playing actual, just straight-up PragerU videos for some of the ads, which, you know, is kind of disgusting, but that was ever a thing, and good that they stopped. But yeah, still, that's a choice on their part. Oh, boo earns to me. Main character is from maybe stuck in a time loop. Game takes itself pretty seriously. Oh, that was bad. Yeah, go for it. Or, I don't know, it doesn't even have to be on this website, because I'm terrible at reading my messages on Twitch. Anyway, yeah, that said, I'll take some bit of a look at it at some point. Although me and remembering things, kind of negative there. See, I also do kind of feel like little bits of the vibe sound like, hey, we ended up in the pit again. The game really told me to meet it in the pit. I am playing this level in particular very badly, and I'm not gonna lie, it is starting to get a little bit funny to me, because, like, this seems like an odd place for it to just be like, yeah, hey, you're playing badly. And honestly, a large part of it is just like, it's just me playing badly. It's not even that difficult. Clearly the trick is I should probably go a little bit slower. But that is rather antithetical to the whole concept of Sonic now, isn't it? Yeah, see, automatically I'm going to hear the way this sort of style sounds like it's put together and keywords and think that if it's not specifically cut from a similar cloth... Oh. Wow, good timing running out there, Invincibility. You are really holding up your end of the bargain here, and I'm not being sarcastic. The ears do nothing, just like the goggles. Wait. Hey. That was rude, Firefly thing. That probably has a name that's really odd here. Nice. I'm glad that everybody had on the Discord for that game does have their priorities straight, though, because that's pretty important. Wait. Did I not need to... Crud. Okay, we're spin dashing under that so that way I don't make a fool of myself again for that. At least for that. Anything else? Sure. Yeah, what I was aiming to say is that I feel like anytime I hear of something with that sort of like character aesthetic or anything, that there's gonna be some sort of influence from like, if not from Toho directly, that somebody's going to be pulling from a very similar sort of vibe of like, our media is based on something, you know, at least somewhere it traces its origins back to a series called Sarai, which is kind of semi-known for being one of the major things that inspired EOSD. And by kind of known, I mean, I literally just read about it on a wiki, and apparently Sarai isn't even translated. I have it sitting on my hard drive somewhere, so this being a manga that was, if not running concurrently, then came out around a very similar time, which actually kind of makes me a little bit surprised that it's not translated, because usually that's a fan base that will like go pretty hard in terms of getting all that stuff into English. Maybe someday. I don't think Tuhu is like anywhere near the size of fan base it used to be anymore, though. Not that level of power. Gotta remember, it's 2024. Things are different, old fart. Old fart in this case being me. You know, I wouldn't be able to talk about my most recent reread of Homestuck with anybody except for people I've already talked with it about. The things that were popular when I was younger no longer are, and probably never will be again. It's a pity, but sometimes, you know, we cannot make time stop going as it used to. Hello there, Sonico71. Just writing the letter A. That's a pretty good summation of how I feel right now. Ah! Sorry. Ow. And yeah, I mean, I still have quite strong, you know, feelings about Toho as a fandom, and you know, as a, well, as a series of works anyway. Not necessarily, you know, the feelings about a fandom are a little different, because that's a thing. Can I? Oh, I can't go under that. Not like that, anyway. Where's... I felt like my frame rate was just absolutely having a bad time. Kaguko. What was Kaguko the Satori player? Because I've seen them around, and that's about it. And I have problems approaching people in general, so yeah. Okay, so I wasn't confusing them with someone with the same or a similar name. That's neat. Ow. Well, neat. I'm playing this not well, and I'm slightly embarrassed. Get the ring. There we go. Yeah, I'm sort of, I guess I'm hitting a point where it's just like, I just like having people to talk about things that I still like, but my interests feel so dated still. Even though I know that, yeah, people are out there. I'm having the Firefly enemy is named Flasher. That's a choice. Don't tell the people who are talking about Typhlosion on Twitter right now, because they will suddenly double their joke count. Actually, I can't really call it doubling because 0 times any other number is still 0. The only enemy that I remember the name of from this game is the Asteron. And I remember that because of a Phantasy Star Online connection, because of course I do. Oh, we've gotten further than I was expecting to after that embarrassing Mystic Cave performance. Although that landing in the spikes like that was pretty bad too. Collect a couple of rings. Don't get mauled by the seahorses. This thing go... Okay, yeah, I was like, that's not gonna be death, right? But I was willing to chance it. Which will tell you a little bit about how I play any of the video games. That's just a speed shoot. We don't need that here, and we kind of don't want it when we're this close to death. Excuse me. Oh, I guess we're going the other way, aren't we? Well, that or we're failing to. Although, as per usual, the boss is over on the right edge of the level, so... anything to get us not going to the left is probably a little bit preferred psychologically. Hey, we'll gladly take that invincibility. I used to be good enough at these games that I was like, yeah, that's great and all. I'd rather have some rings. I mean, right now I probably still would rather have some rings, because, yeah, I would like to get a little closer to a 1-up at least. If not actually get there. Oh god, what is the... Across the gap, and then everything goes, Oh! Thank you for the Prime subscription. That is very kind of you. Thank you. I don't have anything further to follow that up with. Except, uh-oh, here come those weird spiky things again. I thought he was gonna shoot sooner than that. I'm glad that thing waited. Waited until I was jumping right into it. Well... actually, Tails, yeah, that's a good idea. I should go hit that light post. That was a little... Can we see that again? No. So it definitely looked like the surface of that oil pit was... and by surface, I mean the exact opposite of the surface, rather. Oh, geez. I remember... I remember this thing being, like, significantly worse in Sonic Mania. Oh, you jerk. In Sonic Mania. Come on, Tails. You can do better than that. That time I was ready. Unfortunately, that was still a pretty embarrassing performance. We're absolutely going to game over somewhere in Metropolis Zone, by the way. You know, just in case anybody was afraid that I was somehow going to acquire competence. Pausing. Recover over try attack. It's not a bad choice. I mean, it's one that it's like, well, that guy is, and by that guy I mean Haunter. I somehow forgot what the name of it was, even though I was literally just looking at it. Haunter is kind of, you know, glass bones and paper skin. So, recover is a thing that you may not always get good usage out of, but it is a very good move in general. Especially depending on how much or not moves are updated stats-wise. Like, if you have old 20 PP recover, then that's pretty big. Oh, I see King. He did get us. Wow. All right. That was pretty sad, and also a nice long death animation there. Do we have unlimited continues in this game, by the way, or is there a limit to them that I don't remember? I'm assuming that there is a limit that I don't remember. Well, so much for 20 PP recover, but recover is still a decent choice. And I mean, there's a limit to them. Okay. That's a shame, because knowing where I'm at in terms of... Oh, that was just rude, game. Knowing where I'm at in terms of competency right now, I think we're probably going to end up getting very close to, if not exceeding, that limit. And I'm going to be a little sad in a case like that. Anyway, here's the Asterons here, and I have no idea. Yes, so what I was saying is that, yeah, I said all that stuff about Haunter having recover, Retro, and keep in mind that, on the other hand, Alakazam and the rest of the Aber family make good use of that move anyway, despite the fact that they are also just kind of made of cardboard. And if Zam can use recover, then it's probably okay. And especially, you've got Bolt Beam coverage and whatever the other one was, extrasensory, right? Yeah. It'll probably be fine. Asterisk that in this case, when I say Bolt Beam, I don't literally mean Thunderbolt and Ice Beam. I mean ice and electric attacks, just generally. Get on the thing. Ah, yes, these. Let me go get those rings. There we go. Now I can take a hit and only be slightly annoyed. As opposed to absolutely losing my marbles as I would have when I was at 98. Ooh, I think that's a looping section. Well, we got out of the loop though, so good enough. Yes, we gotta continue. That's excellent, because otherwise, Metropolis Zone Act 2, now with lava. Yes. Oh, that I'm surprised I got away with. And then, of course, here's Mega Kingler to make sure that we don't get away with it. I don't remember what that is. It's called crab meat, isn't it? I just keep calling it Kingler because, I mean, it's got the giant fiddler crab claw going on. Which I approve of just in general, and not just because I actually kind of like Kingler, you know, period. But, you know, fiddler crabs in general are pretty neat. I like them anyway. Mr. Krabs. Hello, I like money. And now I'm going to take yours, Sonic. That wasn't a very good Mr. Krabs, but I will admit I have actually seen only very little SpongeBob. But of course, SpongeBob was also a thing that started coming out when I was at, like, the precise point where I just would have gotten it the least in terms of the appeal. Now that I'm significantly older, though, I'm like, yeah, I gotta go back and watch some more of that. I missed out on a lot of fun stuff back in the 2000s. But I was old enough to know of, you know, a couple of things at that point. I think I've said this before, but I did manage to actually purchase one of the Toho games when it was new-ish. I bought Subterranean Animism at ASEN in what I'm pretty sure was 2009. And by pretty sure it was 2009, I mean, I think it might have not been that, but I'm going to guess 2009 because that was probably the last time I went to ASEN, because that's when we moved a little bit away from Chicago. And to be quite honest with you, I mean, I haven't been to a convention in several years because it ain't cheap and, you know, disease and everything. I.e. the pandemic, not necessarily that I was suffering from anything too severe. But maybe sometime in the future, I'd probably go to, like, an anime convention again, even though I haven't watched any anime in a very long time. Like, I didn't even finish JoJo Part 4, and by this point, I think that most of us are aware that I am a strong enjoyer of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure series. I didn't finish Part 4, I haven't seen Part 5, I haven't seen Part 6. And yeah, I don't know why I stopped, but at some point I probably should get around to actually like watching through all those again. I got a bunch of other stuff that I want to finish and or rewatch. I guess I would probably want to restart on Legend of Galactic Heroes because I only got a couple episodes into that, unfortunately. Gintama, I've seen a good chunk of Gintama, but by a good chunk I mean like I think probably a little over 3 seasons, which are quite long, but yeah. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is one that I don't really begrudge people for not like for not seeing, because JoJo's Bizarre Adventure can frequently be very rough for a wide variety of reasons. I know quite a few people who dropped JoJo at the first episode. Of course, a very large part of that is due to the fact that in the very first episode, you know, a dog gets kicked and dies horribly, so quite a few people very understandably cannot deal with that. But there's also like a lot of parts where it gets genuinely quite disgusting at times. The one that got me as like the first big one that I was like, ooh, jeez, was in part 4. There's the one autonomous stand that like partially digests things basically and turns them into horrible meat cubes. That was a little disgusting for me. But that's not why I quit, by the way. So you know, and also the other part of it is the fact that stands in general can just get weird, and so it can be like hard to follow on that regard. Is that you can just be like, okay, that ability is total nonsense. Why would, you know, and how is this supposed to, like, there are stands that, for example, literally don't activate until the user dies. So that's one that's like, that can make you go a little bit like, oh wow, what the hell? And then eventually that character suddenly becomes like the biggest threat that any character ever faces. I don't think the one that I'm thinking of is literally the case like that, but you know, you'll get characters who have like a total nonsense sounding ability that suddenly just become the threat of all time. Other than Dio and all the others who are in related positions, because yeah, like all of them have their crazy ass time and space powers. And this bolt is kind of screwed right now. Pun not intended. How far back are you gonna make me have to go for this game? Or am I like actually just up shit creek here? Okay, we're back to normal. So yeah, I mean, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is one that has gained this certain reputation for being like, oh yeah, you gotta see and read this, because the fans are like really loud about it. And so but on the other hand, it's like, I don't really begrudge anybody who's like, yeah, I can't take this, or it's not my bag, because it is actually much harder to get into than you'd think. And especially like you can compare it to other shonen type series, and it can be a little bit rough. It's something like that, but yeah, Guro is a term that I've seen before as like, yeah, I again, am not really a fan of, like, extreme violent things. I've gotten to be less of one as I've gotten older. You know, maybe just because I've seen enough, like, wild shit happen to people in real life that it's, you know, it's like, this isn't, like, as much my... Whatever the reason is, yeah, so, again, I just curate carefully what I view, and I get what information I can on a lot of things before I start, which might also be a contributing factor to why I haven't consumed quite the same level of anime as I did, you know, a decade ago. Because I feel now like a lot of people are just not good at giving recommendations or otherwise explaining to you what you should expect out of something anymore. Like, even just for a simple thing of, like, tell me why you think this is good, is something that doesn't really necessarily get you useful answers. Also, hooray, we're down to 0 rings. This is great. I've been spending so little time talking about the gameplay, but you can see what's happening on screen. I had to go faster than that. Yeah, Sonic game, you gotta go fast, of course. Anyway, hey, thank you for the free 100 bits. Well,
it's called Hot Dogman, Bratwurst mode. Real bomb shoot. Did I just get framed by a horse's ass?
You said I think you said something about the hot dog mon thing at some point, but I could be wrong. Unfortunately, the naming of it just makes me think of Hot Coldman. So then again, I'll take almost any excuse to think about a Hideo Kojima game. Like, it's a problem, but that is at least partially a joke. I mean, clearly, if that were more the case, I would have played the entire Metal Gear Solid franchise by this point on stream. Whereas actually in real life, I've really only played the first one. I've seen a good chunk of MGS2, and like I know about some of the wacky shit that goes on in MGS2. Also, hey, we're in the same position as that one time. This is great. Someday I probably should play an MGS or several on stream, which will be an absolute laugh riot because there's no way I'm gonna prove capable at stealth games. Well, there's certain games I wouldn't be able to play on stream. Wait. Revengeance is the best. That is completely fair. A take I 100% respect because I do love Revengeance, what I've seen of it. It's one of those games that straddles a difficult line, I feel like, of poignancy, but also being very entertaining. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, fair enough. Also, hey, listen, do I truly want to get banned from this website? No, I'll save that for YouTube. For when I remember to talk about those Pokemon leaks in November. And I say something so mean that the moderators act. I'm kidding, mostly-ish. I mean, to be fair, I think that's something that we should well, we should certainly all want to see anyway. I mean, there you go again. Well, eventually Robotnik becomes the good guy and he repurposes those weird ladybug things as like road safety utilities. Oh, sorry. I think the term road flasher is more of a like a UK thing actually, but mentally I'm just like, oh yeah, that's a term that you could use for the little reflective doodads that are on those the traffic barrels that I don't know if they have a name other than being like traffic barrels, but you know, the things that look like traffic cones but are larger than that. And also those reflectors are on other things. Oops. That's what I get for just guessing at the pattern. Hit the lamppost and regroup mentally because we're right back to square. Oh god. Ugh. I guess that the wrong one was going to be Spike Up there. Alright, so... We're out of that for now. Now it would help for us to just try not dying. Unfortunately, I'm pretty bad at that, so this could get a little rough. I remember one time back when I was a teenager and I could actually beat Sonic 1 anyway without dying. That was pretty cool. There's no way I can do that nowadays. In fact, I'm willing to bet you that for me, beating Sonic 1 period might be a little bit rough. Excuse. Although, most of... Oh god, I am so bad at jumping off of those things when they're in certain positions. Like, it just really doesn't want you to, basically. Fuck you, crab meat. You always didn't believe in me, or something. We're out of rings again. So now we gotta deal with the Asteron passage very carefully. Or perhaps extremely quickly. In fact, I'm going with the just full speed ahead here, damn the torpedoes method. Oh, is that not crab meat? I'm a fool. I'm mixing up my Sonic the Hedgehog crabs. Anyway, yeah, the bosses in Sonic 1 are, by and large, significantly easier than they are in... even in this game, where the bosses have been kind of simple. Right, Tails, if you can, like, get... oh, wow, that's unfortunate. My ring! Tails? Hey, buddy, I need you to not aw, damn it. Well, at least we have a save post here pretty close by. Go back and pick up those 3 rings. Do some squats. Or ducks, anyway. Oh, damn it. The rings are just instantly gone there. Well, alright. Tails? Come on, buddy. I need you to work with me here, Tails. Unfortunately, I'm really in no position to just plug in a second controller, and obviously that won't even work in a single-player game, right? Just make him do all the work? Surely this would be so much easier in that case, yeah? I was gonna say, where are the weird inflatable egg carrier thing? Whatever his weird hover pod is called. Egg carrier. No, that's like one of his big ships, right? Clearly. Alright, so now he gets angry and he starts shooting these big laser beams out of it, but that's okay. He's got one hit left. That's quite the desperation move you got there. Shell cracker is that crab. Okay, well. Duly noted for the future that it's not crab meat. I should have known better. It's a robot. How much meat could possibly be in there? I swear I've seen these little helicopter enemies in a Mega Man game too. The turtles are cute. Oh, Sonic, what are you doing? Other than running out of rolling at just the worst possible opportunity. Well, at this point, I'm assuming that there's no real extra life in our future here. Eggmobile, yeah, that sounds like a much more appropriate name than whatever the hell I was calling it. I mean, truth be told, it's basically just Bowser's clown car, isn't it? I mean, there's certainly a clown driving it, so it's not a completely ridiculous proposition. Here we are. This music doesn't sound right. Like, it always gets kind of screwed up because of the amount of ring collects you get, but I think something is off here with how this is being emulated. Well, that was our last continue, so, yeah, we kind of... Yep. I didn't realize that it was that severely limited. Otherwise, I probably would have been like, okay, yeah, we're just gonna save state through this, because you know, at least then we'll be able to see the credits. But let's see if we can't at least get back there. I mean, keeping in mind, again, I'd be using my usual thing with states of like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, do it at like checkpoints and stuff, and it'll be like infinite lives kind of thing, because, you know, don't like cheat with it, but allow yourself to continue, because etc. lives are kind of an outdated concept. You know, I'll be marginally more forgiving for games this old because you had to make the most of the length of them. Speaking of which, and speaking of bringing it back from like an hour ago, Echo the Dolphin, I believe I've mentioned this before on stream, and if not, then I'm surprised. But yeah, there is actually a story out there where Ed Annunziata, who's one of the main devs on Echo the Dolphin, did actually just outright say that they made the game harder to prevent kids from being able to beat it in a single rental. Which, hey, that'll tell you how incredibly cool, how incredibly like cool and strong rental chains were back in the day, and how important they were to the video game business on whole. And meanwhile, with the push for digital only and stuff like that, I don't want to say that game rental is dead, because that's not quite true, but it's certainly massively reduced, and quite a few of these companies were trying very hard to make it less of a thing, because they want you to spend their money on them, and, you know, all that beeswax. I want to say that some media companies, possibly not video games, but maybe film and oof, I got hit by the drill tank. That's sad. Yeah, some media companies, it probably was more like music and film than video games, but they were trying to, at various points, at least get some sort of control on secondhand stores here in the US back in the day, which, ugh. Well, yeah, there's the thing of now Steam is like, by the way, you don't actually own your games, which I know that, yeah, that's not good, and I agree with that point of the fact that it's bad, because it's not great. But it sort of always has been like, they can revoke your access to it whenever they want to, technically. Because, yes, it is just a license. And that has also always been sort of my concern when it came to digital-only purchases, period. And one of the reasons why I was very upset back in the day about Capcom and releasing Ace Attorney 5 as a digital-only game back on the, what I think was the 3DS. I'm pretty sure it was the 3DS, yeah. And they are indeed just finally being like, hey, yeah, we're just gonna say it up front. I think it has something to do with the state of California again. At least when it comes to anything to do with that in the US. Because, yeah, that's California for you, of not quite fixing the problem, basically. Of recognizing that there's a problem and not actually doing anything about it except for informing people of the problem. Because they had something to do with this recently, and they were like, well, you have to put this disclaimer on digital products that says that, hey, this is a license, you don't truly own it. Instead of making a law that says that, yes, digital is ownership, or outlawing digital sales of games would be the method that I would use, but, you know, treating dandruff by beheading or something. That's a Frank Zappa quote that I've mangled horribly. But yeah, I've always generally been of the opinion... What the fuck did you just do there, Sonic? That digital-only game availability... Let me out, let me out. There we go. Plus I managed to kill it, nice. That was quite risky. So... Yeah. I am no great fan of digital-only, and I know that I buy quite a lot of shit on Steam. Again, hey, yeah, look at me. I literally was just out here talking about Balatro and stuff like that, but I would so much rather have that as like a disc or something. It's quite a small game too. It could fit on a CD. But, you know, that's just me. I would love to have, in particular when it comes to that, because Balatro has a certain vibe to it, I would love for them to print up like an old 90s ass looking software CD for it and offer that as a special edition. So what I'm saying is, come on, limited run games. I know you love shit like this. So stop fucking around and talk to Local Thunk about getting that together. Local Thunk may not necessarily be in for that because Local Thunk has been very staunch about things to do with usage of Balatro. They've apparently been approached. I think maybe Local Thunk is a he, but I'm saying they because I'm not confident. They mentioned being approached by like gambling companies to license out the game for like gambling machines. And they said absolutely the fuck not. So like I do kind of appreciate the fact that they're super good about stuff like that. Maybe that prevents the thing that I discussed, which would be a little bit sad, but whatever. I suppose it cannot be helped. Anyway, yeah, it's just the point that I don't like the digital only thing. I would prefer to own my games, and that's why I prefer to buy hard copies where possible. Because that wasn't even Tails fucking me over, by the way. That was just me playing badly. You know, there are very few things that can take away a hard copy of a game. And most of them tend to be disasters. Or, in the case of discs, just the ravages of time because of disc rot and stuff like that. Which is why, hey, yeah, cartridges genuinely are actually the better medium. Unfortunately, there is the matter of expense and other for FFS. Anyway. Yeah, digital only for demos is fine. In fact, at this point, I would expect no less. And yeah, there you go. I died to the thing that I hated again. I so do not have it together. Maybe I need to focus on the game a little harder. But let's try to actually get to the boss this time. So we can die in an embarrassing manner on that. Tails, can you, like, actually not suck for a second, buddy? Shit. Well, thank you for picking up that ring, Tails. That's impressive. You did something useful. Demos are quite good as a digital-only thing because it's a good way to distribute them and get the word out. And I think that a lot of people regard demos as being a little bit impermanent anyway. So, meanwhile, with full games in that, you know, you'd be like, yeah, hey, wouldn't you actually want that to be also a thing that you'd prefer for distribution of full games? And in theory, maybe, but in practice, we have enough access to, like, purchasing hard copies of stuff through the internet that I'm not sure that it's that much of an issue. I mean, we need better postal infrastructure, but that is not specifically related to that and more of just a true sentiment. But just putting demos out as a digital-only thing, that's fine by me. Full games, though, digital-only, that's garbage. And I'll say this, that I think one other thing that I'm not a huge fan of, consequently, is the extent to which games get, like, updated after that. Like, there are some games, sure, where it is part of the nature of the game, like Dota or something like that, or TF2 or any of that kind of business. But then you have the flip side of the coin of instances of games getting updated after the fact, basically for bug fixing. Oh, hey, it's you. How's it going, Tav? I think we got, like, a note of drowning music there. Oh, Tails is gonna die, by the way. Just doing what he does best. But you see, on the other hand, I feel like, again, that games that just update themselves for bug fixes heavily after the fact, I would just rather have the game actually be finished and bug tested before release. And maybe, at least in theory, a reduction in the amount of digital ways of games being purchased would make that a thing that they have to do more. On the other hand, maybe they'll just leave their games buggy messes and or still continue to be like, yeah, okay, we'll just update afterwards, who cares? And there is also the fact where, unfortunately, I do have to give one point of credit to digital releases, which is that they do extend the amount of time that a video game is available for, at least in some cases. Like, there's definitely some things that are available on the Steam marketplace that you would not be able to purchase a new copy of a console version of it today, outside of like new old stock and, you know, people selling plastic wrapped copies of it on eBay. Like, if you wanted a new copy of the original Borderlands for some reason, just as an example, because that's a game that I know is old as fuck, and also I've unfortunately been playing that recently. Saints Row 4 is another one that I've been playing recently that's an actually good game that I think would be in the same boat. You would probably be able to get digital versions of it on console, but, you know, a hard copy for consoles, I don't think that's even on, like, new generation consoles. I mean, it might be on PS4, but that's about it. Borderlands starring Henry Stickmin. That sounds like a better game than, well, certainly than any of the Borderlands sequels. I'll say that for free. And kind of honestly than a better game than the original Borderlands, which I do enjoy as sort of like a dumb fun sort of experience, but oh hey, we didn't immediately get Robotniked completely into Oblivion. A Portal, that's another good example actually of console games that you cannot purchase new anymore, but I forget if there were hard copies or even console versions for that matter of Portal 2, but Portal 1, I know the orange box was on consoles. Yeah, hey, we started it, you guys are commenting on 69, we ended on 96, which is pretty damn close. Yeah, I still have my PC orange box as well, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna be honest, so here's a fun fact about me with the orange box. So I bought my copy of the orange box back in like whenever it was semi-new, and I was able to get it for like 30 bucks. So again, semi-new is a bit of the phrase here. I bought it at Best Buy, and I specifically wanted it for just Portal, and I had this immediate sense of buyer's remorse buying it. I think it was even like my family paid for it too, so I was just like upset because I felt bad about like, hey, yeah, I'm spending a bunch of money on stuff I'll never play because all I wanted was Portal, because everybody was all over Portal at the time. And yet I ended up playing the absolute shit out of TF2, and I still want to go back to playing TF2 on like a private server again with my friend Tav over there, with whom I have easily pissed away like 1,000 hours on TF2, and, you know, war-themed hat simulator, as it were. Unfortunately, the way that he was hosting games has ceased functioning, and I don't know if that's like a whole thing that, I don't know how hard it would be to replace that anymore, but whatevs. Yeah, good times were actually had in the end. But I recall at the time hearing that like you get just a PC copy of Portal, and that was the main thing that I wanted, but I ended up settling for the slightly more expensive orange box, and I did not regret it. I played some Demo Man. I played Demo Man pretty heavily, I think. Demo Man is a pretty good class to run in TF2. I mean, other than like Demo Night being the memes and hilarious, base Demo Man has really good damage output, and I find that he's still like mobile enough that you don't just go, oh god, what have I done by picking him. And he's a well-balanced class that you can play. Demo Man is categorized as being a more defense-oriented class, and that's true to an extent, but you can play Demo Man on offense and you won't hate yourself too much. You know, not like the heavy where it's like, okay, I move at 1 inch per year, but I do have this really fucking sweet gun that obliterates everything. You know, but good luck getting to the point to actually put it to good use. Or the engineer who can get around pretty easily, but has a lot of setup time. Although I do play a lot of... I play a lot of Gunslinger Engineer, or did play a lot of Gunslinger Engineer back in the day. So that's more of an aggro kind of setup. I didn't really play Overwatch, and by didn't really, I mean didn't at all, but I think it just didn't hook me the same way. And also, you know, feelings about Blizzard. I would go back to like classic StarCraft or Warcraft 3 or stuff like that from Blizzard, because that... But otherwise, I don't know, I didn't really get positive feelings about Blizzard, and this is before the Blitzchung incident, by the way. So, because they banned that guy for something that was like really awful for them to ban him for, and that was it. That was just it. Blizzard was kind of dead to me at that point. And then all the shit about, well, Activision in general, and Blizzard isn't really super great in terms of that type of accusations either. Then the shenanigans involving Warcraft 3 Reforged, which again, my biscuits are still burnt about, because last time I checked, it made you unable to even play your vanilla Warcraft 3 unless you just did not connect to... Unless it just didn't connect to the internet, period. Which is significantly more of a pain in the ass than it sounds like. Yes, by the way, the thing, if you set off the cart ride and you miss it, you just screw yourself. That is true. This level, has that issue. We've seen that we can respawn the screw lifts in that place that we were in, that we died a lot. Metropolis Zone. Oh god. I was worried about getting spiked for that, because this game is real mean. But yeah, this level, on the other hand, you can just be up shit creek. And much like David Byrne, you'll just wonder, well, how did I get here? And Sonic can say that this is not his beautiful house, nor his beautiful wife. And you might be asking me, do you mean that Sonic is married? And no, it's just I'm overextending the joke too much. That's all. The thing that I find, by the way, Retro, following up on that, in general, about team games, is that when you go into pubs and you're not like, hey, we're a full synced up team, you will end up with the other guys having main character syndrome really bad, and everybody just being like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be the solo. Again, rolling back to Dota, which I mentioned earlier, it's kind of why I feel like there's a very large amount of people who just play carries a lot in Dota. And not that I'm, like, not the same way. I'm bad at support, but I recognize that I'm kind of bad at it. But I am good at finding ways to make, like, every character just, you know, become a threat, kind of. Unfortunately, I don't necessarily have the best follow-through on staying the threat, but yeah, you'll get a lot of people who are just like, you know, they want to be the one who who does everything. They want to be the one who gets the credit at the end. They want the attention of being the MVP or getting the play of the game or anything like that. Which it's a team effort that I don't think that that's necessarily a good. Oh my god. Yeah, remember that thing that we were saying earlier? Tails fucked us. Great job, idiots. Oh, boo earns. We died right after we killed the boss. Well, that sucked. Can we get a ring, please? No? No! Okay. Fine. Oh, shit. Is there one nearby? Please? Yeah, okay, that good enough. Five. Tails, you fucking mark. He's gotten me killed like 3 times on this boss already, and by 3 I mean 2. Like, here's Tails just being the absolute worst that I've ever seen him. It's almost commendable, really. Keyword there being almost. Alright, now Tails, would you like to not get me killed this time? Thank you. Oh, boy. Take a sip of water here real quick. I think I need it. Seriously? That happened? It wasn't lit up at all when I touched it, so it must have been like the frame. That's cruel. Yeah, see, Retro, I feel like with that idea of like sneaking up on snipers being fun, I feel like you would kind of enjoy playing as the spy in TF2. Which, you know, respect to anyone who can be good at that, because I'm not good at the parts of, like, being convincing about any of it. On the other hand, if you actually let me get over to somebody, I mean, yeah, I'll cause problems then, but... My thing is, I have no, like, real skill at lying on purpose. Or bluffing in any real way. So, yeah. So instead, I just need to catch somebody completely off guard. And that's why when I was a spy, all I did was basically fuck around with the the Enforcer for a lot of that. Until they made the Enforcer dog shit. Although, most of our TF2 we played against bots, so... The interplay there ends up being a little bit different. But the engineers will still let you just walk right up and sap their sentry for hours. Of course, they will always be aware enough to take the sapper off, they just won't get rid of you. They'll let somebody else do that. Yes, the Spy versus Spy games based off the Mad Magazine feature. I was quite aware of those. Hey, we got a one up for points, I think. That's cool. I was pretty aware of those growing up, but I didn't know about the Mad Magazine thing at all until much later. So that was interesting, but, you know, small child at the time, so... Listen, sometimes you can just, you know, affect fake stealth by having loud clomping ass boots that scare the hell out of people. And that does kind of sound like it's more up Reaper's alley from what I... You know, what I remember of, like, the aesthetics of Overwatch characters. Right, yeah, because... So, I don't remember the reason behind this, but you did say it at one point. Isn't it because, like, the redeads are based on the speed you move at or something? Or just motion sensors in general? And if you slip on the iron boots, you don't go fast enough for them to actually be able to detect you? Right. Yeah, okay, so I do remember, like, one thing. Hooray! Nice, we got another continue. We're objectively playing better this time, I think. Although I'm sure that will soon change. And of course, we are still quite low on lives, which, you know, with how good I am at any of this, we could game over in Oil Ocean Zone for the first time, as opposed to in Metropolis, and I'd be like, that's really pathetic. Oops. I didn't press right well enough there. I don't remember how to set the debug mode, so that provides a bit of an imposition at first. For now. At first, the hell am I saying? Yeah, I mean, that is true. Game FAQs, which I think is actually now owned by Fandom. Probably not quite as riddled with ads as most Fandom wikis are, though. I did finally remember to install an extension on Chrome that lets me go to other wikis where possible. Like, it just automatically redirects me to other stuff, which is great because, yeah, multiple reasons, really. But I think we've been over that before. Oh, fuck you. Goddamn Cedra using goddamn smokescreen out here. You son of a bitch. I'm a little upset now. I was so close to that 1-up, and then the game was just like, yeah, no. Yes, I mean, I'm not 100% sure if there is like a fandom.com Pokemon wiki because I've never looked, but if there was, the extension, if it's programmed properly and has that set up, it would redirect you to Bulbapedia. Which is pretty great. I do like Bulbapedia as a general rule. Bulbapedia does have an amount of ads, but it's not as heavy. It certainly is not quite to the extent of like anything hosted by Fandom, where it is just like absolute murder on your computer or your performance anyway. Yeah, Fandom can be quite difficult about stuff like that, where you will find people posting unsourced or undersourced, as the case may be, just outright fucking lies on some things. That said, there are some cases where at least some of them have been getting better. The Mega Man one has a surprising amount of stuff that's been like properly resourced and everything, which is neat. I actually learned shit from that, believe it or not, about some of the characters in Battle Network, because a few editors have actually been like leaving their sources for that, which is great. Aquas and Octus. Well, they sound kind of similar actually, but alright, well, that's one way to get up there. That's probably how I usually do it instead of goofing off the stage gimmick. Oh, right. This is the place where we have to do this. Also, yeah, I skipped on the thing, so it's fine. It'll be fine. It won't be fine. I'm going to pay for my hubris. There we go. Yeah, I told you I would pay for my hubris. Why didn't I go back for that lamppost? Other than the fact that I'm like, this boss is not that hard. And then I suffered for that. And then I fell. Honestly, I'm still kind of mad about... Tails, you fucker. Make yourself useful and kill the goddamn seahorse, Tails. No. Tails just gonna go and get... You know, just go use a cactus like a chair. Weirdly, I don't remember Oil Ocean ever being quite this hard in Sonic 2. I mean, in Sonic Fuck, excuse me. In Sonic Mania, sure. Sonic Mania, Oil Ocean is a nasty state. I just want to reset on this one because, like, I'm upset, actually. Yeah, Sonic Mania Oil Ocean is quite rough. And definitely an example of the game being like, hey, yeah, we're gonna make you go much slower on purpose. And also we're gonna give you something to get nervous about. Fuck right off, game. That doesn't seem fair. Like, come on. But anyway, yeah, Sonic 2 Oil Ocean, I remember this level being really easy. Again, though, I'm pretty sure that a large part of that is just like, hey, yeah, I haven't played this in actual years. Get out of the sauce. Sonic, can you, like, actually just stop getting hit by the submarine when it's going down? Please. Oh, hey, that time it didn't shoot at the ground. That's weird. What the fuck was that? I'm gonna be honest with you, that hitbox is, like, it's weird is what it is. I don't know how else to describe it other than that. That was weird. That made a bare minimum of sense, really. Let's try out a different path just for fun here. Eh? Yeah, you deserve that, Tails. I'm not sorry. At all. Alright then, game. That's quite rude. Ah, careful of the stupid spike things. What? I was jumping there, game. Okay, sure. Just... And... Seriously? I'm really off my game here now. I think I'm just getting annoyed, because... Yeah. I think I have a fair cause for it, really. Game? That was really, really fucking rude. I'm just... I gotta figure out that I can't make that jump, really. But I'm never gonna remember that. Well, okay, at least Tails didn't destroy the one that we needed, as far as I know. Yeah, you can't roll off and hit the Octus. The game won't let you do that. No fun for you. Ah, bullshit. Those things are jerks, is what they are. Let me get up there, hit the... Alright. 5 hits, that's pretty good. 1, 2. Alright. Hey, good job, Tails. You managed to briefly not be useless, and then you died in the oil. Classic Tails. God, this... I'm pausing for just a second here. Actually, I'll be right back, everybody. Okay, folks, I'm back, and yeah, good luck with that retro. See if we can't be a little bit careful here. Try to collect some rings. I'd like to get another life, so that way at least I'll have a little bit of a buffer before I game over next. I mean, I guarantee nothing in terms of my ability to perform in that regard, but I'm trying, dang it, I swear. The game doesn't seem to think so, but the game doesn't agree with a lot of things. Man, those crabs. The angle that those upward angled shots go at is just such that I always think it's much greater than it looks, so it feels like it should miss me more often than that, but I clearly am wrong about that. Oh, it gave you the business with something stupid, did it? Oh, yeah, that'll do it, because... Yeah, again... Haunter, made of paper, we've been over that part before. Even on the special side... Oh, yeah, no, I'm not happy about that for obvious reasons. I was pretty close there to getting another life, but the game saw fit to disagree, so I guess we'll just have to defer to it in its infinite wisdom on this one. Okay, yeah, that's not part of the loop. I think we just pass the loop if we want to, but I would like to get the rings. Oh! Hi! Fancy meeting you here, blue boy. That camera went a little bit nuts. Ugh. Fine, I guess I'll just go finish the level. At least I'm pretty sure the exit's over there. Yep, where else would it be? Oh, that was embarrassing. I just walked into the stupid bug. I thought I had a couple more pixels to get in its hitbox, I guess. Whoa! Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I was expecting to happen, to be honest with you. I think part of what had me, like, shocked, though, was it looked like I was going to be safe for a moment. Tails, did you just kill that platform entirely? You sure did. Because of course you did. And yeah, these These fucking crabs are just positioned in the meanest places in this level. Like, wow. They really are just like designed for you to just be unable to... Unable for you to avoid taking hits. For fuck's sakes, dude. There's a lot of that in this level, actually. You know what? This is where we save state. I mean, we probably won't use it. Again, that's there for when our continue runs out. Not... And that's why I'm doing it there instead of, like, you know, at sensitive parts of the level design or anything. Okay, no, this platform just floats it. Unless it did actually sink back into the lava permanently after we got on it. I should know better. That thing is just... Don't even bother collecting more than one ring there. You're just gonna lose it anyway. You're just gonna lose it anyway. Is crab cakes or whatever the fucking thing's name is. I think it was shellcracker or something. Just positioned there perfectly to get you. Because, as we've covered, there's a lot of that in this level. Like, all of Metropolis Zone is kind of dicky when it comes to enemy placement. But this one feels pretty rough, you know, like, on a special level. They really went even further here to make sure that every once in a while you would just get frustrated by something. It's like how at the beginning of Phantasy Star on the Master System, you get your I was trying to stop that, actually, but boy, an input display would probably help out with stuff like that quite a bit. Anywho, yeah. The game killed me because I was about to make mention of another game franchise that, like, I do enough to make it seem like a bit. But yeah, I was gonna say something about how, like, hey, yeah, the first area also has enemies in addition to the basic things that are, like, a little bit too high level for you for some reason. So you'll sometimes just get into an encounter where the RNG will just murder you instantly. And you'll just have to be like, well, I guess I gotta restart for the last, like, 6 minutes of the game that I played. For primarily, like, very little other reason other than the fact that people just did not know how to design games back then. Meanwhile, in this case, I'm pretty sure it is just the devs outright being jerks on purpose. Which is also an odd choice, because, like, hey, you know that this wasn't a coin hop thing, right? Well, again, maybe they're convinced that the kids will be, you know, disappointed if they finish it too fast. I completely missed those rings the first time. That's a little... Get out of there. Neat that leads to that much treasure, though. That's pretty nice. Alright, jump over. Jump over Bobby Big Pincer there. Oh, this is gonna be a problem, actually. I shouldn't have done that. But also, I'm not 100% certain how I'm gonna get past this particular, Mantis dude here. Just go over him? Good enough. We got past the things for long enough. Oh, that sucks. Whatever. Go left, go left, go left, go left. Shit. Well, that was a waste. Ah, fuck, dude. I'm more annoyed because somehow I didn't get, like, any of those 108 rings back. Because, to be fair, when they pop out of you, they won't immediately, like, go straight back into your body, even if they make contact there. Probably to prevent it from being, like, too easy. Which, alright. Sure, fair enough. What was that bullshit? What was even there for me to get hit by, game? That didn't make sense. Yeah, watch out for the Asteron's spine there. Hooray! We're on to stage 3 now. Because for some reason, this one zone... give me just a sec here. For some reason, this one zone has exactly 3 acts, and yet none of the others do. I don't really know why that is still, but, yeah. Because, yeah, every zone had 3 acts back in Sonic 1. And this would come back in Sonic CD with a slight twist on things, because in Sonic CD, the 3rd zone was basically just the boss. Like, you might have a tiny amount of platforming, but the 3rd zones would always be really small, and then a boss fight. And usually a much more gimmicky boss fight than anything in prior Sonic games. Wow, it's been a million years since I've seen those. And also, very frequently... Cool. Very frequently, the bosses in Sonic CD, and by very frequently, I mean, I think in all cases, they literally take 3 or less hits. But yeah, much less than what regular Sonic bosses took. I'm not sure why Sonic CD was like that, but it sure was. It's kind of a strange game when you think about it. Even aside from the usual Sonic game being weird. Excuse me. Sorry about the yawning. It's been plenty of it to go around, though. That was bad, but also, like, I'm in such a mental position right now where I'm just like, I feel lost, because a lot of these areas are really starting to look all the same. Like, just all the structures are identical. To such a point where it's like, I don't even know if I've been through some of these parts on previous runs of the stage. I mean, again, you've got to remember, I haven't played this game in years and years and years, but... Get in there. Oh, this isn't the one to the end, right? No, I didn't think so. This looks pretty similar. Get up there, quit being stuck between the gears, Sonic. Hooray! For once we actually killed one of the crabs. Yay! See, it is possible. God, I hate those praying mantises so much. God, I hate everything in this level so much, actually. Now just rush through this part as hard as possible. Nope, I screwed up, so I wasn't able to get past the first Acheron. Dodge that. I'm actually surprised none of them started attacking. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, we rescued that somehow. I was quite nervous there. Alright, so we've got just the one life to defeat Eggman before I restart. Because I'm trying to not restart until it would be the continue point. No, 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 I need that ring. I need that... Fuck! Tails, you stupid asswipe, can you, like, actually do something? No, 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 we're reloading, we're gonna redo, Zone 2. That platform needs to... Why is that platform still gone? Like, what? Why? Yeah, okay, game. That one's not even a fault of the enemy. That's just some really rude placement. Again, trying to farm the rings so that way I can gain a 1-up. I'm not for any reason concerned about score, because that's not even a thing that's real at this point. That... yeah, waste the shield, it's fine. That was pretty bad play, though. I should be better at that by now. Alright. Screw lift. Get this thing. Yeah. Ooh, I'm surprised we got away with that. Before... This is not far from where... Yeah, okay, so there's a... Yeah, just stick all the terrible enemies from this level together here. It's what the Sonic 2 devs would do, given the opportunity. At 93. Yay, we got the life. Okay, good. Alright, dodge Slicer, dodge the Asteron. Thank goodness the screw lift is back. We can grab our 10 rings that we probably don't need to, especially because I forgot about this bozo. But hey, I remembered that one up was... Well, I remember it was in a contrivance kind of like this. Not necessarily that it was specifically there or anything, but close enough. The basic idea was something that I remembered. Ah, you're fucking with me now, aren't you, game? I'm surprised I managed to avoid taking the hit there. I thought for sure that my number was up on that one. And as usual, Slicer being the speed limit enforcing cop on the beat today. It's losing only 10 rings at a time in Shadow. That was the thing in Shadow? I forgot what game that was in, but yeah. That would make my life significantly easier here, to be quite honest with you. You know what? I will save after this. You know, state save here. I'm just like, hey, yeah, I'm a scrub. I gotta lean on save states in a game that I've played many times throughout my life. It's because I'm old. I'm old and I don't know how to play video games anymore. Game. That's just... The crab hurt boxes are awful. Yeah, Asteron's a lot of the thing that I struggle with Asterons is just a matter of timing and stuff like that. Like, I'm pretty sure I can get past that on the nut if I nut hard enough. Or yeah, no, I deserved that actually. Never mind. I'm gonna try rephrasing what I just said. If I like go fast enough on that bolt lift, then I can get past that. you know, with relative ease compared to like some shit in some platformers that I've played before. You know, I could probably do it better than I could most things in Hollow Knight, that's for sure. But also, excuse me. But also, it is a little bit of a rough timing thing, and yeah, the placement for these is such that it's bad timing that will usually get you. And you can learn to outperform them by just learning the right timings. And I have to go further back in order to get this bolt set up. Yeah, that's me saying awkward things on purpose yet again for the sake of humor. Me practicing the VTuber routines. I'm pretty sure that's how like VTubers get attention, is by saying things that they probably shouldn't. Anyway, me making fun of that aside. Yeah. We've seen that a couple of Asterons we've just been able to just rush past. But otherwise, the weird things with a lot of them tend to be that the placement is just such that the weird angle of usually the upward spines causes you some problems. Meanwhile, with the slicers and the shell crackers, it's just, or whatever those crab guys are called. Personally, I need to remember how this part of the level works. That's what I need. Personally, I just kind of think of them as Kinglerborg. But anyway, yeah. So those crab guys and slicers both have a very big issue of having absolutely fucking disgusting hurt boxes. Like, the slicer is such that it'll frequently get you a little bit before when you think it will with the thrown blades, which, I mean, in and of itself, that's kind of rough, because it's so fast. It's very hard to react to. Meanwhile, with the crabs, it's just like, hey, yeah, even if you think that you've jumped such that you can land a fairly conclusive attack on the head, sometimes the game will just be like, no, actually, you kind of landed somewhere where they harm you. And of course, I think we all have to... Really? That was still going? Alright, game, sure. Whatever. We also have to remember the worst enemy in this location, which is the fact that the fucking screw lifts require you to go that far back to reset them. And with how many things are just there to knock you off of them if you take a hit, it's just kind of really, really obnoxious. Yeah. it's a bit of a problem from a design perspective. Oh, come on. I was trying there, but that's how I've been feeling like the whole time, is I've been trying, game, and it's just giving me nothing. This game is unforgiving. Oh, and then sometimes just that one ass run will be like, yeah, actually, I didn't see shit. Which is very strange. Fuck. There we go again. We just sort of missed that one. That's kind of like getting knocked off. God, this feels longer this time, actually. I don't know if it's because there was stuff to worry about the other time, but... Ah, don't get crushed. Alright, it's time for a very easy boss to cause us some issues. Well, actually, I mean, this one is kind of a pain in the butt, really, because, yeah, there's gotta be, like, some very specific safe timing that I don't know for this. Yeah, because, like, sometimes it works, other times it just kind of does not. It's simply much easier to take the hit and make sure you get your ring back. Although calling that easy is a bit of a laugher. Okay. Sky Chase Zone is next. I'm confident enough that we will at least not die in Sky Chase. And then Wing Fortress exists, where the mechanics are not good, among many other things. Oh, I was a little concerned. Woo, that was fast. All right, guys, sure. This is every time. This is just my fault, but I feel like blaming Tails anyway. Ah, bullshit. Well, I shouldn't have been so confident, I guess, because that was a really embarrassing way to die. Because every time you land on the plane, and I'm not sure how I didn't notice this at first, or didn't really pay attention to it, you do actually sag down a little bit every time. Oh, geez. Well, we missed some rings. That's okay. That one was a load of bullshit, though. That's... I am blaming you for that, Tails. You fucked up again, Tails. Do you ever get tired, Tails, of, like, not being good at this? Because you should. Well, nice. I just hope they can actually put it to use, because, yeah. Hey, randomized TM compatibility. You know, what fun that is. Excuse the yawn, I'm sorry. It's Tails' only skill. Anyway. We're back to Wing Fortress. We've got a continue this time at least. But also, I'm really tired. I'm gonna cut this off here, and we might continue this on Wednesday, or we'll start something else up, depending on how ready I get things. If we don't continue this on Wednesday, though, we will continue with Sonic in the future. And finish Sonic 2 and do Sonic 1 also. Because, yeah, I like Sonic for many, many reasons. For example, much like musician Ash Nico, Sonic has blue hair and pronouns. And that's the extremely bad joke I'm ending the VOD on. Good night, everybody.